or like I
Bah.
don't know,
Like that?
laughing at Danny, but it
Goat boy.
sounded like a goat or a sheep or
Yeah.
something. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream here inside the Code Noobs
At 9 on the dot,
group
I will
at
say.
9 on the dot. Yes, Danny, we
Not a
got
minute
you.
early, not a minute late.
Nope.
On the
Exactly.
dot. We made it today. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you here. People pulling into the live stream. How are you guys doing this morning? How's your week been?
Good.
Good.
Tired. Good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
been a
was
long
telling
week.
Danny I've been having trouble sleeping this week. It's been a rough one for me.
Oh, we need to get
Yeah,
you a teddy bear.
I
Right?
know, right?
Something just to
Yeah.
snuggle with. That'll help.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
that's the problem right there. Randall needs a teddy bear.
There we go.
Who doesn't, though, right?
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, glad everybody tuned in today. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. I'm tired. I was out late last night with friends. It was somebody's birthday party, so
Oh man,
um,
partying?
I am. I wouldn't say I was partying. Like I don't. I'm too old for that.
But
But
you were out.
I
Yeah.
was out
Mhm.
till late. Not like
So
I
late
don't
that the
stay up late
glasses are
anymore.
on this morning.
Yeah, and like my eyes just hurt from contacts and
Mhm.
all that good stuff.
They
But
make your eyes
anyway,
they make your eyes hurt?
contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't take them out often, which I
Oh, oh,
do.
oh. Oh, okay.
You're supposed to take them out every day, but sometimes
Yeah.
you
I mean,
have
you
them
just
in
leave
for
them
a
for
week,
weeks at a
2 weeks.
Sometimes a
time.
day turns into like 3 years, and then your eyes have contact
It's
lenses
like
stuck to
fused to
them.
your eyes.
Yeah. Oh no.
Remember when
Uh,
when they first came out, they were like those thick glass? That was always
mhm.
terrified me.
Oh
Those
my
ones, I was
God.
like, God, I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine putting that in my eye.
Feels
Yeah.
like a
No,
grain of
thank you.
sand.
Good
Yeah.
Yeah.
morning, David Campbell. Nice to have you here. How are you
Morning.
doing this morning? Well, I guess I'll just start getting into it.
Yeah.
But
Today we have a,
before you do, we've been
oh
doing some
man,
really
every
interesting
time.
stuff. Yeah, we've been doing some really interesting stuff recently in the Web Dev Incubator,
Yes, we have.
which is a
What
private
have we been
program that we
doing?
have for people who are looking to get jobs as developers as soon as possible. It kind of bridges the gap between any type of education you could be doing and working in the real world. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have
I mean,
some.
good.
Oh, well, I was going to say, like, we have like integrated projects where we're all working on it simultaneously together as a real life team would do, using GitHub, creating our own components, and then integrating those components to create an actual functional JavaScript framework app for people who literally just started learning HTML and
From
CSS
scratch.
months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool? Not only is it from scratch, but we're also going slow so that people can also digest it and learn it on the way, but they're also learning how to do it right and how to do it as a team, which is awesome. Stuff you'll never get from a boot camp or any kind of college or anything like that.
And actually,
Yeah.
some people in the Web Dev Incubator mentioned this past week how much they love it because it's not polished. It's not some tutorial you watch on YouTube where all of the problems have already been worked out beforehand and it just looks like magic. We actually have to figure out why things aren't working and
I,
then figure out some way to make them work.
we probably mentioned this before,
Yeah.
but that always used to make me so angry with the with watching tutorials when I was first starting because it's like they make it look so easy because they're copying the code. I mean, which makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Like
Sure.
you're making a YouTube video, you don't want it to be forever. So you're trying to make,
Like
like it's already
five
long enough.
days.
Yeah. But like still it is. It's frustrating because you don't get to see how the process is for people for real. And like I
Yeah.
think that like it makes you have a false conception of like what it means to be a developer if you don't see
Yeah.
that.
I think, going along with what you're saying, one of the most difficult things that's sort of passed on when you're learning development from more experienced developers to newer developers, one of the hardest things to pass on is how to handle the logic of like going about building an app, right? Like from conceptualizing the idea to deciding on a tech stack to actually starting the project, managing the project with, version control, all those different pieces.
Designing how your data is gonna look.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we think about it as just like, oh, you just start typing HTML, CSS, JavaScript code, but there's actually all this logic that goes into like, how do I start doing that? And how do I make these choices about my project? Like which technologies to actually implement. And so that's something that I think is super missed in those videos is, you never get to see it, what the thought process was of that person going through building that until they actually just typed it on screen, but they're doing it at that point, sort of like it's second nature. Like they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to type this now. And that's, obviously that works perfectly.